So hello everybody and welcome to tonight. I got the Sega Master Collection and I've loved Sonic the Hedgehog too, so I thought I'd just have a quick fun little playthrough of it. Basically, yeah, I've been meaning to try it out for a while. I thought, why not tonight? I'm going to be using the fast forward and rewind buttons because I'm only here to have a bit of fun. I'm not like playing anything major. If anybody here wants to talk film or has a film that they want to talk about, post it in the comments. I'll be sure to check them out. I hope everybody here has had a lovely day. I've had a quite fun one myself. It's been nice, just taking it easy. What's going on with that? Now, first time I was playing this on the Sega Saturn, it was on Sonic Jam. And I think Sonic 2 is my favourite of all of them. Sonic 3 comes pretty close, but it's not on this set. I should have got the checkpoint. So, on to Zone 2. So, fix this for a second. 1 4 3. There we go, that's better. Okay, fine. Get that. Yeah, I've never tried to do it all in one sitting before, so could be interesting. I'm going to try and not necessarily speed through it, but I'm going to be in bed for about midnight, so I've got to work in the morning. But I can do it in about an hour and a half. I think that's a good day. Yeah, so how's you guys' day been? Have you had a good day? Seen any new films? Anything good? No, I've not got Thank you. Well, that went quicker than expected. Yeah, no, I've been slowly working my way through some reviews this week, and yeah, you guys are in for a treat later on next month. There's some strange stuff coming, that's all I'm going to say. Have you guys seen any strange movies recently at all? Let me know in the comments. I can't stop the momentum. I did it. I just wanted to try that rewind thing. No, it was quite useful actually. I'm not trying to perfect run it or anything by any stretch, but that's cool. I'm having absolutely no luck finding checkpoints. I'm upset that I'm passing the levels. forget one of these levels backs out and there's a little bit extra in there. Quick. Down they go. That doesn't have to be that. I always love the pipes in this level. It's so cool to sort of whiz around the level through these little tubes. In Sonic Mania, they really go to town with these things. They're really cool. Ah, yes. Get it. Do 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 do. Yeah, you can rewind on the special stage. This is going to be fun. As I say, I'm not doing it for glory or anything. I'm just having a little fun playthrough. I picked this up today and I'm really happy about that. Let's just, yeah, let's fix that. Sorry about that. There we go. Down the record, fam. What was the worst disappointment in movies that I've seen so far? Probably, and I've actually done a review of this, if you want to check it out. It's a film called Let's Ruin Dad's Day. It's the worst film I've ever seen in my life, and it's not the worst film I've ever seen because it looks bad, it looks okay. It's the worst film I've ever seen because it's a kids' film that actively teaches your kids to do things that would get them in tremendous trouble. And I'm not talking like Dennis the Menace sort of slingshot trouble, I'm talking like being abducted trouble. Yeah, it's a really bad film because it teaches your kids to be awful. Hey, but thanks for joining us on this one. What's the worst film you've ever seen? Have you seen anything good or terrible even? Okay. I mean, if I was going to give you an idea of how bad... Oh, a Disney knockoff. I have seen some bad Disney knockoffs in my time. There's one of Ratatouille that's particularly awful. If you ever get a chance to dig that one out, you know, I feel sorry that you'll have to go through it, but if you like bad Disney knockoffs, you'll probably get a bit of a kick out of that one. It's on Amazon. I'll probably leave a link in the description of this video to it if you're interested. But that didn't happen, nobody saw that. No, nobody saw that either. Ooh, definitely didn't see that. There we go. Oh, there. Ah, I'm pressing jump and nothing happens. There we go. Boom. Yeah, the Disney knockoff movies can be pretty awful. There's an entire series, if I remember rightly, of films that are like based on Cars. They did the Pixar film Cars, but they're all very, very low quality and look awful. What a lot of people forget is that Disney knockoffs go back a lot further than sort of the early 2000s Pixar knockoffs. In the sort of 80s and 90s, there was a load of video knockoffs of stuff like Cinderella and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty and things like that. And they were all dreadful. They were all genuinely dreadful. There was only one that was any good, and it was they were trying to cash out on the success of Alice in Wonderland. So they did a direct-to-video release of the sequel, Alice Through the Looking Glass, and that's actually quite entertaining. It's a fun little film, very low budget, but it's very entertaining. Ow, didn't do that. Ow. Hey, what's that over there? Thank you. No, didn't do that either. I'll tell you, I am really behind the non-existent rewind and fast forward button that I'm not using. That one I'm not using at all. Why did I do it twice? I knew it was coming. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that version of Alice in Wonderland at some point, because I have real nostalgia for it, because it was one of the films I sort of grew up with. There was another one I was recently introduced to. What was that film called? The Last Unicorn. It's not a Disney rip-off per se, but you can tell it's very heavily inspired by that hand-drawn Disney style. And, yeah, it don't look too good. It's got Christopher Lee in it though, which, you know, keep me by surprise, and he actually plays an alright role. He plays like a count who kidnaps unicorns, I think. Oh god, gotta find a bubble. Gotta find a bubble. Give me a bubble. Bubble, 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 bubble. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just too late. Sometimes you just gotta lose a life. Nothing can be done about it. It's alright then. That's my own fault. I didn't care much for bubbles. Thank you. I don't mind if Tails drowns, he's not my problem. Thank you. Oh, exactly the same here, man. I used to live off the cheap sort of, you'd go in the UK, they had a shop called Woolworths. I don't know whether you're UK or US based, but they had a Woolworths in the UK that was a very popular brand of shop, and they'd always sell VHS tapes of knockoffs of films because it was the only ones they could really afford to put in stock. So you get loads, like knockoffs of Beauty and the Beast and all that stuff. Oh, there's loads of them. I've actually got at the minute a bag full of just knockoff films to watch at some point. What's in here? Ooh, I found a treasure. Glad I found a treasure. But yeah, no, knockoff films are surprisingly easy to get a hold of on tape because there we go. Because as you say, they were incredibly cheap to pick up, and you'd never be more than a few feet away from them. There's a series I've always wanted to get my hands on. I had it when I was a kid, and then I chucked it out foolishly, and if I can ever get my hands on the tapes of them again, I'll be very, very grateful. It's a series called You Can Read, and they were given away as part of a magazine. It came in 12 parts, and it was basically supposed to teach young kids how to read. It is terrifying. Genuinely terrifying. I think they didn't really understand. You're losing us the game here. They were genuinely terrifying because I don't think they understood how to talk to kids about learning them to read, so it basically comes across as a bit of an ADD mashup of sights, sounds and everything. It's a genuinely horrifying experience. Some of them are up on YouTube, and I very much recommend you dig them out if you get the chance. Oops. Oopsie doodle. Whoopsie doodle. It's a good way to kill an afternoon because they are very, very strange and very uncomfortable. And I need a few more of those. I need a few more of those than I thought I was going to need. Blue Skadoo we can do. I'm going to need even more than I thought I did. I'm going to be 3 short otherwise. Let's go back a little bit further. Oh, back a bit more than I thought even then. There we go. That's the ending I wanted. But yeah, definitely look up You Can Read. If you type it in on YouTube and you type in birthdays, you should get one of the first ones. Watch about 10 minutes of it and tell me it doesn't change your life fundamentally. It's such a weird show. Hey, no, thank you, man. It's much appreciated. You know, I'm always happy to talk about films or TV shows or anything. You know, just let me know what you want to talk about. I'm more than happy to chat about anything, pretty much. Can't claim to have seen and watched everything, but I do enjoy just chatting about stuff. Weird TV shows, weird films, comics, music. I do almost everything. But it's always a pleasure to have you around. I always preferred Carnival Night Zone, if I'm honest. Personal preference. I want to win big in Rio, come on. Reno even. Boom. Yeah, I'm really gutted that this set doesn't have Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles included. I've heard it might be DLC at some point, but at the same time I've also heard that legal issues are meaning that they can't put it on here, which is an absolute shame, because Sonic 3 is great. I grew up with these games, so, you know. I had the Master System, I had the Saturn, I had a Sega Saturn, which, you know, is always great. And then other than that, I was pretty much a Nintendo person for the most part, but I did love me Sonic. Build up that momentum. There we go. Yeah, for anybody who's not familiar with these kind of streams, I don't do them regularly. They're definitely not regular occurrences. I don't try to make these things weekly or anything. It's basically, I get a little bit of free time, and I've not got enough time to do some of the stuff that I normally do, which is like editing and watching films and writing about films and stuff like that. I just like to unwind and play some games and chat. In fact, I believe this is the first non-film related game I've played on here, and I'm only doing it because I really like Sonic. It's a great little game. It's speedy and well constructed. The new Sonic movie. Now, is that the... I always get these mixed up, right, because I know that they were doing a new Sonic Boom movie. Is that the one that you're talking about, or is there another one out there? Because I know that there's been talks for years about various Sonic projects. I know that they were doing a sequel to the first Sonic Boom movie, which came out a few years ago now. I also heard they were doing a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie at one point, and I am utterly gobsmacked for that one. Why did you do that? Back I go. I'll win my money. I also heard there was a live-action one in there, and I don't know how that would work, whether it would be like a CG Sonic in a human world, or whether that would be a entirely sort of CG but sort of Earth-based one, or what. I mean, I made some money back, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I was a bit lost for it. But yeah, no, do let me know which Sonic film are you talking about specifically. I've never really got into Sonic Boom, truthfully. I mean, I'm not one of these Sonic fans who are Puritans and are like, it's these games and nothing else. I can appreciate some, you know, well-made Sonic ones. Ah, so it is the live-action one. I didn't even know that they were still moving ahead with that one. I had assumed that they'd canned it a few years ago, because they'd been talking about doing it since about 2013. I remember being in university and talking to my mates about it and saying how awful it looks. In terms of just the idea of it, I don't know how it'll work. I imagine the closest I can describe it to is it'd be a bit like if they did a live-action Super Mario movie, which they did do with, what's his name now, Bob Hoskins? And that was, well, you saw how that went. So, yeah, a live-action Sonic movie? No, not my cup of tea, truthfully. I just think it's ridiculous. I mean, for me, in terms of good Sonic games, ooh, yes, get in there. In terms of good Sonic games, Sonic 1, 2 and 3 are great. I enjoyed Sonic Episode 4. They did Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 and 2, which a lot of people hated, but I really liked it. I thought it was... I thought it was fun. I preferred episode 1 to episode 2. I've liked Sonic 1, 2 and 3, Sonic 4, Episode 1 is good, Episode 2 isn't bad, it's just not quite as solid as Episode 1 for me. Sonic Adventure 1, 2 and 2 Battle are fun. Who cost me rings then? I'm still 9 short. I'm playing this until I get the Chaos Emerald, I don't even care. Sorry guys, you're in this for the long haul. I really loved Sonic Generations when that came out. I thought that was really neat. Picked the wrong time to quit sniffing glue there. Oh, what did you do that for, you stupid fox? You may be my best friend, but god damn it. Sonic Generations was great, really loved Sonic Generations, loved Sonic Mania as well. A nice return to form. Ooh, a challenge. Sorry if I go a little bit quiet here. Oh. Ah, what you doing, you dastard? There. Okay, now the challenge begins. I am rubbish at these bonus levels. Every time! Tails is costing me this game. He's dead weight. I need to get rid of him. That time somehow I did even worse than I did the first time I tried it. Tails, god damn it. Sorry about that, guys. I'm in it for the long haul. Yeah, I recently played the Sonic Mania DLC as well, which was a lot of fun. I wasn't expecting very much from it, but it was surprisingly jam-packed, considering that just pinch a few of those rings back, thank you. Boom. Nice. Oh, I love this music. This is my favourite Sonic music of all time, for 2D Sonic games at least. I think Rooftop Run maybe just about beats it from Sonic Unleashed, but like this is my favourite Sonic music. No. Let's not go in the lava, shall we? Ooh. Ouch. This. What are my thoughts on The Matrix? You know, it's been years since I've seen them. I remember the first one being pretty, for the time at least, being a pretty big deal. And I remember it was one of the first films I ever got on DVD, when DVD first came out. And it was really impressive to see all these special effects and sort of all of it unfold. And then everybody went a bit mad for it. Now, I always forget whether The Matrix Reloaded or The Animatrix came out first. I believe The Animatrix came out first because it led into The Matrix Reloaded, but I might be wrong on that. I remember staying up really late one night and watching on Channel 5. In the UK, they showed the Animatrix episodes like one a night for a week, and the Animatrix was completely out of this world. When you know, for the time, I'd never seen anything like that before. Because I'd not really been that big on sort of, you know, more adult animation at the time. I was still of the opinion that animation was kids shows, and then I got into anime and that all changed. And I wouldn't say I'm particularly massive on these days, but it's always nice to branch out, is what I've found. But yeah, then The Matrix Reloaded came out, and I enjoyed that one as well at the time. I mean, you're going back about 15 years now. What? Thank you. You're going back about 15 years now, but I remember watching The Matrix Reloaded and thinking, this is pretty cool, especially the car chase scene with the brothers who can sort of ghost in and out of vehicles. Revelations, the last part of the Matrix trilogy, it was okay. I didn't really appreciate the ending too much. But I really liked the sort of the whole stylistic design being consistent throughout as a nice touch. I'm gonna have to dig those films out again sometime very soon. So the problem when you sort of review films for like your downtime, you very quickly run out of time to watch good films because you end up spending most of your time watching terrible films. I mean, just this week, a bit of a spoiler for an upcoming review I'm working on. I watched a film called Penetration Ants. It was just a terrible film, but I knew it was a terrible film going in because I'd watched it about 10 years earlier. And in some ways, that was the worst part of it. It means that I have to kind of forget about watching good films. Because I just simply don't have the time to. Oh, mate, that was a trap. I already had one of those. I didn't need to go all the way over here. Thank goodness for this rewind button. Saving my skin and dropping me in lava. Multiple times. Is there any way to avoid dying horribly on this one? Boom, boom, whoop, whoopsie doodle. There we go. Nothing matters anymore. Yeah, no, I mean, from what I remember, the Matrix films were fun. It's just finding time to fit everything in nowadays. Back in the pre-YouTube days, I used to just sit and watch like anything and everything I could get my hands on. But now with sort of writing time and editing time and doing stuff like this, I just don't necessarily have as much time as I used to have to be able to watch these things. You lied! Why did you lie? Let's go down here. Ooh, that was lucky. Was not expecting that. That was unlucky. That's really bad. I'm not going to be able to land any of these, am I? So close. There we go. Faith. Take that, Nessie. Boom. You know what this means? Bum ba da dum dum da da dum dum. Why would you do such a cruel thing? Right. Tails, you're an idiot and I hate you. Tails, you're an even. Tails, I... Tails. 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 Bloody fuck, will be the death of me. Then. We were close. Well, this is going smoothly. Don't know why I got the feeling that they were going to throw something around that corner. But not that corner. Sneaky, sneaky. I can get some more of those, I reckon. I'm going to be a few short if I don't try and get some more in when I get further back. That one I did really badly. No es bueno. No es bueno. Bloody tails. Bloody... Somehow I did even worse that time than I did last time. I need to wind back a little bit further. We've got to go back further than we've ever gone before. This is better. There we go. Boom. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get supersonic with this. It would be nice if I could get supersonic with it, but... Got him. Flip. Yeah. Oh, I remember this one very unfondly. I think as a kid this was the level where I'd always die. I do have plenty of British. I am 100% British. Well, at least last time I checked. Irish to be specific. Well, I'm Irish on my dad's side and from North on my mother's. So yes, I'm full British. Oh, this is quick. Let's cause some damage. I'm sorry I'm subjecting you to this. Whoa, 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 that wasn't part of the deal. That wasn't part of the deal either. Oh, I completely missed the ones on the ceiling that time. I've somehow gone worse. Missed all of them. Tails is bloody awful at collecting these rings. One more. Got it. We're going to have some work cut out for us on this one. What are my thoughts on some British TV shows? I don't tend to watch a lot of new TV shows in Britain. I'm more of a filmy guy, but I watch a lot of old TV. Like the classic. I love classic comedies, for example. I'm terrible at this. Sorry. Well, I did somehow even worse than I did last time. I was stuff like Monty Python's Blind Circus and Funky Towers, and Father Ted is pretty good as well. Black Books. Graham Linehan stuff is great, I find. God damn it, I hate you, Tails. Yeah, what kind of stuff are you into? Do you like British shows? I'd say I don't know whether you're English or American. I tend to watch more American TV these days actually than I do English stuff, weirdly. Oh, what'd you do that for? Well, I did 4 better than last time. I think I may have to wind back further than I have done. I think we have to get more rings in round 1. I got exactly the same amount as I got last time. There we go. That was a little healthier. Oh, that was close. There we go. Oh, jeez. It's a miracle I could play this game as a 6-year-old. I'm doing on the other side of the map. Falling past them, basically. I've got to get some of those up in the corner, otherwise I'm not going to know those. There we go. Great stuff. Ooh. Whoopsie doodle. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty shocking. I just missed like all of them. What? What do you mean not enough rings? Somehow doing even better than I was. Even worse than I was even. Yeah, you're telling me these parts suck really badly. I always much preferred they had like a bumper balls one for Sonic 3, I always much preferred those ones. Three. Oh god, 3. I gotta get it done. How have I ended up doing worse than I was doing? And why is Tails so awful at this? Yeesh. Like, I'm going to try it one more time, and if I don't get enough, then I'm just going to skip this one. I was hoping to do Supersonic tonight, but if that's not on the cards, it's just not meant to be. No, anyway. Ah, guys, I tried. But hey, we'll have some fun, we'll just play through the rest of it. Can't be the only one there who saw me clearly jump through the handle. Ah, okay, I get it. Wait. What did I find of the Back to the Future movies? Loved them as a kid. Nowadays, they don't hold up. I'm kind of done with Back to the Future. I think I realised this a while ago. I was one of these people who went to go and watch. They did like the. I went to watch the original trilogy in the cinema back in 2015, and I think 2015 was the year that killed Back to the Future for me. I used to really like them. I really liked the first one. The second one is my favourite of the three, and the third one I thought was okay. But after having a year of pretty much non-stop hoverboards, Back to the Future quotes, and general Back to the Future-ness, I just got really fed up of it. And I know it's sacrilege, and like 90% of people who like watch films will still go, oh, they're classics, oh, they're brilliant. And I won't deny that they're very well-made films. I've got a soft spot for two, certainly, but I think I've watched part one too many times to just undo those both. Let's just completely stop the nightmare from happening. I think I've watched one too many times and it's just, I'm done with it. And three was never really amazing. It was just okay. So yeah, I don't think it's odd to dislike the Back to the Future trilogy. I think it's going to be a good while before I will ever watch them again. I don't think, as I said, I don't think they're fundamentally bad films. I just think that they've been literally parodied and played with and taken apart and put back together so many times now because so many people have a tremendous fondness for them that it's kind of been played to death, really. I argue the same with quite a few films, though. We're sort of living in a time where a lot of very iconic films and very iconic cinema is being marketed to within an inch of its life, to the detriment of the art of the film. I mean, Star Wars, you only have to take a look at it, that thing's been literally marketed and beaten to death. Now, I mean, I enjoyed the last two Star Wars films. I will not say that they are by any means perfect films, but they were enjoyable. I could go and sit in a cinema and waste 2 or 3 hours watching them, and I didn't come away hating myself for having watched them. But I think they're done, and I think that most big franchises that that a lot of us grew up with now, I'm just kind of done with. They've kind of been marketed and commercialised and literally manufactured within an inch of their life. In many ways, that's why I really love looking at bad films, because bad films have no marketing, no representation. You literally find them in a shop, or you know, a charity shop or a thrift store or places like that. And ooh, sea doodle. And it's literally a case of you have no idea what you're going to get until you put it in the player. And because they're bad films, nobody ever bothers to market them. So you kind of get a bit more of a mystery bag. And I found some of my all-time favourite films from looking for bad films in charity shops and sort of Poundland and the like. But yeah, sorry, I kind of got taken off my tail a little bit. Have you ever seen the Back to the Future animated TV series they did? It was like a one-season Back to the Future animated kids show. And it's got some live-action bits with Christopher Lloyd playing Doc. Those live-action bits are really charming. If you're fed up with the films and you want something maybe a little bit different, and you haven't seen the animated series, go and dig it up. It's not amazing, but it's entertaining. This is probably my least favourite Sonic 2 level. Mainly for the boss of this level, who I hate with a passion. Although I do like those oil cap things. These things are really cool. I chose the wrong time to jump off that. That's the right time. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, oopsie doodle. Oopsie doodle. Yeah, so one of the things I miss about the 80s is the fact that they would turn anything into an animated series if they could. Back to the Future got an animated series, Alf got an animated series, Bill and Ted got an animated series, everything got an animated series. Bill and Ted got an animated series and a live action series. And if it wasn't a live action, if it wasn't an animated series, it would be turned into some kind of gawky, awkward live action thing. Like, one of my favourite college movies is Revenge of the Nerds, and I only found out recently that that had a TV series. Admittedly, it was only like a pilot, but somebody legitimately thought, hey, well, we haven't made enough money off this yet, let's crank out a TV series. It was a very interesting time because there was lots of new ideas going around. People had the money and the faith, well, the money and the foolishness in some cases, to want to fund anything that would make money. I don't think you'd end up with stuff as inventive as Back to the Future or Bill and Ted, or, you know, maybe even stuff like Jurassic Park even these days. I think that Hollywood plays things way too safe. There we go. Ah, Raymond's here. Hey Raymond, how's it going? Oh, silent films can be tremendously powerful when utilised. One of my favourite silent films is Nosferatu. I love Nosferatu. Metropolis, brilliant looking films. I'm also a big fan of Buster Keaton. I love the Buster Keaton comedies and those silent films. When you see those slapstick, it's amazing how he orchestrated some of those stunts that he pulled off. Really astounding stuff. What kind of short films, silent films are you into, man? And Raymond, what kind of beer are you drinking tonight? Anything good? I wish I could be drinking a beer. I've got work in the morning, so I'm a straight and narrow. Although I should have a very, very nice whiskey being delivered to my house tomorrow night, which will be a nice treat for the weekend. So I look forward to that. For God's sake, right, okay, get back up there. That's a quick. No, can't get back up there. Okay, never mind. Any brand I've ever heard of, or is it just sort of store's own brand? Because I mean, some store own brand can be okay. I've seen a few Buster Keatons. The problem I have is I don't always remember the titles because I normally get them in the UK. They don't really do like individual releases. They do box sets, and they're not even really proper box sets. They're box sets in the sense of it's a single DVD with about 3 films, a bit crushed within an inch of their life on there. So I don't remember titles very well. But there's one that's on a train that I remember very fondly. Of course, probably one of the more controversial things to say these days when it comes to... What the fuck happened then? That's some... Hang on, whoa, I'm not letting that fly. Why is the pot taking off without me? Fucking Donnie Darko shit right here. Hang on. I'm going to cut out the middle, man. There we go. Thank you. Whoa. Play the game. Milwaukee's best. Nice. Even cheaper than the store brand. I've had cheap beer before. If it does the job, it does the job. I've got 2 cans of Hobgoblin and a bottle of Red Stag Jim Beam on my counter at the minute. I usually break the Jim Beam out for special celebrations, but having just come back to Stag Do a couple of days ago, it's still on presentation. Back over here. I remember that silent film. For the life of me, I couldn't tell you what it's called, but I remember that sequence you just described, Raymond. Yeah, that's that's one of the more iconic ones of memories. Damn it! Fight you! No! Oh god, I forgot about this guy. Oh jeez, right. Yeah, we're just gonna blue skidoo and undo this thing. I always have a soft spot for Chaplin. Very good. Whoopsie doodle. Whoopsie doodle. That's an opportunity there. Let's get it. Yep. Didn't see nothing. Never saw anything. What the bloody hell's going on? Get back up there. Come on, you can't be trusted. Thank you. No, great. Tails is dead. Ah! That definitely did not come anywhere near me. I have not read the Fallout movie. What was the plot of the Fallout movie? Got it. Tails died. He's caused me enough grief through this playthrough, it's fair enough. Love this song as well. This is probably in my top 5. Go, thank you. What? Go. Meant to ask Raymond, how are the reviews clocking on? Are you making progress with those? I've been meaning to watch your DNA one all day. I literally got home and started writing, and I've got an hour free at the end of the day, so I might think it just before I go to bed. But yeah, how is the reviewing going on? Ooh, what about that? Nope. Sorry I didn't respond to your messages, man. it's been a crazy few days, still getting settled in. I will check my phone when I'm finished up here and get back to you promptly. I did not know that they were going to do an adaptation that was set in Vegas of the Fallout films. Jan the Record fan. So was it going to be sort of like a prequel to Fallout New Vegas, or is it just sort of one of those ones where it was the easiest script they could think to do? Oh god, I didn't think it through. Why didn't I think it through? They're the best kind of films when you do loads and loads of research and all you discover is that it's absolutely awful. I've had exactly the same thing. Alien Intruder, I did a load of research for that film and it turned out to be absolute garbage. Fun garbage, but garbage nonetheless. I'll have to dig out your review of The Answer then. I'm going to probably do them both back to back. Tomorrow night's usually a quiet night for me, so I'll jump on that. And go through them. I like to do your reviews in bulk because I can kind of sit and make an evening of it. Whereas if I just sort of do one, I get the feeling for them and then I have to wait until next time. Oh, is there any way to beat that giant crab? I didn't know they were going to make a Fallout film in the 90s when you mentioned it. I thought you were talking maybe something a bit more recent. I was thinking to myself, what could it possibly, you know, what would they have possibly considered doing? But it sounds like Vegas got picked up in the end, in the form of New Vegas. Why did I do a full loop? No, I do love Fallout. Funnily enough, I have Fallout 4 on my shelf right now, and it's a serious contender for one of those games that I sort of play and build a storyline with on here. Again, it would be once in a while, but I'd dig it out and we'd just sort of go through it all together. If that's the kind of thing you guys would be interested in, I'd be more than happy to dust it off and give it a go. I really enjoyed Fallout 4. A lot of people didn't, seemingly, but I guess I'm in the minority. I thought it was pretty fun. Oops. Yeah, I might do a Fallout 4 playthrough at some point. Oh god, what am I doing? Get up here. Just wait until it comes down, maybe. Oh, you can, okay, that's fine. Wait. Tom Baker playing a killer mutant. Right. I'm going to scrap everything. I need to see this film. What's it called? I might have actually seen it already, but what's the title of this Tom Baker mutant film? I am more than game. I've never heard of Mutations, but I tell you what, I'm going to be looking it up when I get off this stream. I'm going to be all over it. Oh, how did that even happen? Have it. Buzzy. Whoop. Whoop. Ah. Thank you. I will go and take a look on the Fallout wiki then as soon as I'm finished up here. Then cheers for the pointing that out to me, man. I'll give it a read. It sounds like it'd be something that I could get behind. How do you do that? No, I had heard rumblings for Hollywood have a lot of rumours. I did hear in the sort of 2000s they were planning on doing some kind of Fallout movie, but I always thought it was just hearsay, really. I really did enjoy playing Fallout 3 though. Fallout 3 was my personal favourite, then New Vegas. I could never get into the PC games. I tried my best, they didn't do as much for me as the 3D games did. I think it's because I really enjoyed the exploring nature of it and being able to physically pick through locks and stuff like that, you know. Don't make me fight you. There we go. Oh. Now, thank you. You didn't see that. You didn't see that. Hang on, whoa. Donald Pleasance plays a scientist that claims he can bring dinosaurs back to life with preserved DNA. Instead, he gets eaten by a human. Tom Baker and Donald Pleasance are in a 1970s movie in which Tom Baker plays a mutant. Is that true? Because if that's true, I'm making a new priority to talk about something coming as soon as I can. I'm already booked up with reviews for September, but god damn it, that is going to be November if that is a real film. Anyway. Sometimes you gotta take the hit. Kenny Rogers once said you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Please. Get up there. No, don't go up that. Oh, you caused yourself a mischief. Yeah, I remember seeing some demo footage of the game that was supposed to come before Fallout 3 ended up being the way that it was. Because they'd basically more or less done if memory serves, they'd more or less done a game already to be Fallout 3. And at the last minute, some businesses changed hands and they basically scrapped the whole thing and went to the game that got released in the end. I would have been very interested to see them do a Fallout movie. I think there's a lot of potential for it, to be honest. Whether it's a full-blown prequel where you sort of see how the Great War began, maybe a political thriller kind of thing, or whether it's literally all wasteland-based, you know, I don't know. That's the joy of it, really. You've got so much scope. What is going on there? as soon as this game's finished raining, by the way, I will go and check out that trailer because that sounds absolutely astounding. If there's one thing that I love in my horror films, it's I can't supposed to do that. Oops, I'm not supposed to do that. Because one thing I love in my horror films, it's one of three things: Vincent Price, Donald Pleasance, or Tom Baker. Or Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee's amazing in horror films. He's in my favourite horror film, which is The Wicker Man. You said, oh, cracking. Thank you so much for sending me that. I'll get onto the messages. I will read the messages that you've sent me that I've been an awful person and neglected by accident, and I will look at that trailer and I'll get back to you. No, thank you so much for that. I think I might have misjudged my skill here somewhat. I thought I'd probably be done for about midnight. Admittedly, I think there's only about 2 or 3 levels left, but... Oh god, what's happened? I regret everything in my life. There we go. Thank you. Oh dear, I forgot about this one. Well, let's wind it back a little bit. Maybe we've done a little more calculating there. A couple more rings to Oh god, what's he doing? This one's just a pain. It's not even a particularly difficult boss, it's just annoying. Oopsie doodle. Miscalculated. Oh god. Oopsie doodle. Empty failed. Wow, he finally helped me. He's been trying to murder me this entire game and now he's finally helped me. Oh no, I did read about ET2. Wasn't that the one where basically it turns out that ET's race were like really horrible aliens and they were trying to wipe out Earth, and that ET basically accidentally leads these violent aliens to Earth and it was going to be a massive battle to the death? That sounded like a better film than ET, quite frankly. I'm very upset that that film never got made. I would have really, really looked forward to that one. I've got to do is not die here, pretty much. Doing okay. Ow! That bit about not dying, thank you. Some coinage. Oh, ringage sounds wrong. Oh, wait. I've just realised, by the way, all of these machines contain animals, and when I hit them, they fall through the sky to the ground. I'm kind of committing animal murder here or something. Ow! Oh, yeah. Okay. Tails is literally... I mean, you should have been here at the very beginning of the stream, Roman. He was trying to murder me repeatedly. This is actually the nicest he's probably been to me since I started playing, and I think he's got an ulterior motive. Whoopsie doodle. Whip. Tails tries hard, he does try hard, but he is still a bloody murderer. Why isn't he hitting? Oh, maybe I've got to go lower. There we go. Jack Cardiff did the cinematography on that film. Bloody hell, right, that makes it a definite then. I have got to watch this film, there's just no two ways about it. Donald Pleasance and Tom Baker. Donald Pleasance plays an evil scientist who turns Tom Baker into a mutant who then attacks and... Oh, yeah, that sounds like my kind of film. I'm getting... In my head, I'm imagining Hammer Horror, sort of circa 1970s. In reality, it's probably going to be closer to Tales from the Quadead Zone. But, you gotta remain the optimist. No, you nasty turtle. Oh, I can't stay mad at you. Look how cute you look. The last time I did a playthrough of Sonic 2, I got to this level, and there's a launch pad. I had this on PlayStation 3, and there's a launch pad. I think it's on Act 2 that has a bug. That basically, when you hit the launch pad, it just launches you into the ground. To this. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so much potential in films that never quite made it. I personally would have loved to have seen Jodorowsky's version of Doom, or there was an animated film called, what was it called now? I think it was something like The Cobbler or something like that. And the guy who was producing it took years to make it. And then the money ran out. And he was left with like 2/3 of a film that was finished, but a third that was unfinished. Oh, you naughty rotating platform. There's loads. There was a canned Rocky Horror film that was supposed to be like an official sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show. That was done. They were planned before Shock Treatment came out. And that got nowhere. That one was Brad and Janet. Effectively, Brad and Janet go to Vegas. Yes, the Golden Globus Spider-Man film would have been amazing. As a huge fan of the likes of Canon Pictures, and Empire. I have a soft spot for Golden Globus films. It's a sign of quality. When you see that logo, I especially liked it when they finally did sort of separate, because it pretty much went tremendously downhill for both parties. I forget, was Breaking 2 a Golden Globus film? I think Breaking was one, but I'm not sure about Breaking 2. Raymond, you're winding me up. Hollywood DVD is not a sign of quality. I'm landing it, I'm just not jumping off it. Okay, let's wind it back. Let's wind it back. Let's wind them back. You know, I think that was the launcher where I had trouble last time. There we go. No, you don't. You know, the last time I played this, I think that was the launcher where I got stuck, and I used up, like, I think I accumulated something like 50 or 60 lives, because I was a dirty little cheat back then. Not that I've improved much. And that launcher wouldn't launch me over the bridge, so I'd just hit that bit of the launcher, and then I'd just get stuck, and I'd lose all my lives. Oh, okay. But yeah, sorry, to answer, Hollywood DVD is not a sign of quality. At least not in my experience. Oh, hello. You're violent. Oh, I think I know what I've got to do now. I have the 1920s Napoleon on my wish list, actually. The not the BBFC, the BFI recently did a full-blown 4K remaster of it, and they put the 3 screens as one massive image. Well, that was a waste of time. I just got hit by a massive laser and that was it. But no, I've seen some of the footage from that 1920s Napoleon film, and it looks amazingly good. I don't get hit by one, I'm getting hit by the other. Or in some cases, both at the same time. Have a good night, Jones. You take care. Yeah, the Roger Corman Fantastic Four was an interesting film, to say the least. Visually, not too bad for its time. I will say this for Corman films, he knows where to put the money. Yes, gents, you take care. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been very much appreciated. I hope to see you again sometime soon. I might do the first Sonic game at some point. It'll probably be a bit less painful somehow. Somebody actually bothered to do a making of for that film. I assumed that it was just like 3 or 4 camera operators who had some time off and a prosthetics guy who knew what he was doing. I don't think they actually had the budget to pay for a making of crew. I sort of lumped the Fantastic Four in with the 70s or the 80s Captain America film, not the slightly sleeker 90s one, the really cheap one, or the 70s, 80s Spider-Man, or the Japanese Spider-Man. That being said though, I do have a soft spot for the Lou Ferrigno Hulk. Oh god. Right, now this is where I would lose even as a kid, so we may be in for a treat here. Okay, that one was a jumper. Now, the thing is they give you no rings. That one was not a jumper. That time I got too close to the spike. There we go. It sounds like it's going to be an incredibly entertaining film. I will be... No, apparently you can't do that. No, you can't do that either. I know that Fox have been very guilty in the past of what? Fox have been very guilty in the past of just shoving films out so they can keep the licenses. I mean, that Fantastic Four remake that came out quite recently was a prime example of that, where didn't they turn around and say something like, we only saw the scripts for the film like the day before filming, and it was like the entire film. They'd not been able to see a line of it. Yeah. Boom. Haha. And that's it. Sonic 2 done. And to be honest, I did it quicker than I thought I was going to do it. I thought I'd have it done in about 2 hours. So 1:45, I can live with this. I think that's the first time I've completed the game since I was about 12 years old. So. Yeah, you probably did the right thing by boycotting that film. It was craptacular is probably an understatement for that film. It was appalling. But that's the thing, Fox have this thing where, because they own the license to it, they would rather put out a crap film that they know will not do very well, and keep the license, than make something decent that might cost a little bit. It's ludicrous. For years they've been talking, I can't remember which company it is now, but I think it is Fox. I've been talking for years about putting out a new Animal House and a new Revenge of the Nerds film, just a complete remake, purely so that they can hold on to the licenses for them. I'm like, who's bothered about having the Revenge of the Nerds license? Apart from me, because it's my favourite college movie. But yeah, Fox is a strange and somewhat evil corporation that's soon to be owned by Disney. So you can look forward to The Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy, all that good stuff just being completely and totally muted. That is true. If your film sucks, just reboot it. It'll probably be better the next time round. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Equally though, if your film's brilliant, if Disney isn't evil, something Disney is evil. That would be my response to that one. I don't think Disney are inherently evil. I think that they... I think the best way to describe them is they're a bit like the Blob. They just seem to absorb everything and make it its own thing. It doesn't have room for creative freedom. There is the Disney mould, and once you're in the Disney mould, you're in it, and you're never getting out. In the same way that all the Marvel films and all Star Wars films that they've produced have had that weird, ironic self-awareness about them. And I mean, I know that the original Star Wars films had a level of comedy and they were entertaining in and of themselves, but they weren't doing that type of comedy. Basically, Star Wars, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi were very heavily inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy, I think it's fair to say, in terms of their humour and plot and scripting. Disney's my favourite evil megacorporation. Well, I think the only problem I had with The Last Jedi, if I'm being completely honest with you, was Space Layer, floaty Space Layer. A lot of people had a lot of problems with The Last Jedi, ranging from political reasons to gender-based reasons to scripting to everything. You name it, somebody had a problem with it probably at some point. The only problem I had with it was I thought that Space Floaty Layer was a bit stupid. And they could have maybe cut down the casino bit a bit. I think the reason for that, though, was because in The Force Awakens they played it so samey. They played it so similar to The Force Awakens, to A New Hope, that everybody kind of went into Last Jedi thinking, oh, it's just going to be Empire. And they literally just did the opposite of Empire in every way, almost. And that... I suppose in that sense I have a bit of a problem with it, in the sense that because it was trying so hard to be its own thing, it meant that it couldn't be itself, which is, you know, it's a film franchise. It's going to be a bit self-referential. I mean, I'm not one for heavily cramming in pop culture references into every single film. You know, I don't want to see the Millennium Falcon in every Star Wars film ever. It's not necessarily needed for every Star Wars film ever. I don't need Lando to turn up. I don't need Han to turn up even, really. I just want it to be a good story that continues on from whatever, and if they haven't got a good story, then they shouldn't be making it. Yeah, pretty much. It was one of those situations where I agree with you. I think it was one of those situations where they just went, this time we will repeat nothing, and that was it. Yeah, I don't know what to expect with Part 9. In the same way that now I have absolutely no idea what Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be like. I have no idea what Star Wars Episode 9 is going to be like. Disney must be on damage control, that's all I can say, and I don't know what Disney on damage control is going to be like. I assume it's going to be somewhat disappointing. But, hey, we've never had a perfect trilogy. Not yet, anyway. And if there is one, I haven't seen it. They've come close. We've never made a perfect trilogy. There's always one that's just not quite as good. But I think for the... Yeah, Space Layer made me laugh out loud. I was just there like, what the fuck? As it flew back to the spaceship. I was just like, this is so stupid. This is really stupid. Although, it was nice to see... Oh, God, what's her name? Laura Dern. It was nice to see Laura Dern in that film. And Ade Edmondson, who you probably know as Richie from Bottom, Vivian from The Young Ones, or Richie from Guest House Paradiso. If you've never seen Guest House Paradiso, Raymond, go look it up. It's awful. I think you'll like it. But, for the time being, we finished the game, we've run the trailer a couple of times now. I gotta go, because it's like midnight. But thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in tonight. It's been amazing to blast through this with you guys. I'm going to try and do Sonic 1 at some point in the future, and I might even do Fallout 4 at some time, because apparently it would be nice to go through it. And I've played it through before, and I'd love to play through it again, knowing now where everything is. So I might do that sometime. Booing shirtless Adam Drive. See, our cinemas are always so boring. Whenever we turn up, even at midnight screenings, there's like nobody there. Which in a way is good, because it means you don't get interrupted while you're watching the movie, but at the same time, it's just like, there's no atmosphere. You might as well just be watching it with your face really close up to the television for the difference in it. That being said, just before I go, there is one anecdote. I went to go and watch Infinity Wars when it came out in the cinema. We went to a midnight screening of it. And I'm not going to spoil the ending, but if you've seen Infinity Wars, the ending was amazing, because the few people who were in my midnight screening were all just stunned. They just sat there with their mouths open, and all you could hear is, what? What? And it was great. I was just sat with a massive grin on my face, and I was like, I know what's going to happen in the next film already. And it's amazing that there were people crying in my cinema when it happened. It was ridiculous. But yeah, it's fun stuff. So I will pop over to to my Twitter, and I will check the messages you sent me, Ray. Thank you again so much for chucking me that trailer. Much appreciated. I will dig that out. And until next time, guys, I will see you whenever I do another one of these. If you've enjoyed this, please feel free to subscribe to my channel or check out some of my videos. There's some absolute garbage on there. You probably would hate it, but give it a look, you might like it. I will see you all next time.